Morning glory and evening grace, America. It's Hugh Hewitt. As I discussed yesterday and in the first hour today, the Republican National Committee has come down to two cities into which to hold the GOP convention in 2016. One of them is Dallas, which, as far as I can tell, has an airport to recommend to it. The other is Cleveland, but I decided that I would disqualify myself, having spent much of my youth in Municipal Stadium, and I would go to an unbiased, objective evaluator of the two cities. The governor of the great state of Ohio, John Kasich, joins me now. Governor Kasich, welcome back to the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Perfect. I would be an unbiased. I think the people should hear what I have to say because I will speak in an unbiased way about Cleveland, Ohio.
All right, so on this subject, why should the GOP come to Cleveland in 2016?
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody's heard, but it's like, you know, when you have a presidential election, I think they always say, well, how's Ohio going to go?
Exactly.
So I think that's number one. Number two, Ohio is a great place to demonstrate the philosophy and success of the Republican Party. You know, we're up 250,000 jobs. We went from, we were 350,000 in the hole, up 250,000 plus, $8 billion in the hole. Now we're running surpluses. And at the same time that we are doing better economically, Hugh, we are also making sure that we take care of people who live in the shadows. So it's a perfect place to demonstrate, you know, that Republican principles work. Number two, that Ohio's a critical state. Number three, it will be so exciting because the people in Cleveland will roll out red carpets. There aren't enough red carpets. We're going to have to import red carpets.
Now, you've been to a lot of Republican conventions. My guess is you've been to Republican conventions back to Kansas City in '76?
I was at the '76 convention when Ronald Reagan didn't win, and I was intimately involved in that campaign.
And see, I thought so. And so the part of a convention is a party gets enthusiasm from having fun. And there are a lot of great things about Dallas, and I think you ought to offer them good seating at the convention hall over at Gund Arena. But if you want to have fun, there's just no difference between Cleveland and Dallas. You're going to have fun on the lake, and you're going to have fun at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Science Center and all these other places.
Cleveland Museum, the Cleveland Orchestra, so many things. I think the difference is it never gets to be like 150 degrees in Cleveland like it does in Dallas. So I think that's a plus for it. I remember going to the convention in Dallas, at one in Houston, and I mean, seriously, they're great cities. There's no question about it. But it is unusually hot. And, you know, the thing about Cleveland is that we will be in a situation where we will go and solve, you know, a lot of the typical problems that conventions have. Transportation, as you know, Hugh, it's always a problem. We're on top of all that. The people of Cleveland have come out like you wouldn't believe. The people of the state are excited. We're helping from the state of Ohio standpoint with our Jobs Ohio, putting money into this thing. I mean, this is really the right pick for so many reasons. You know, so many good reasons.
I also want to illustrate sort of a meta lesson. You work well with the Democratic mayor of Cleveland. Now, they got their problems. They got a terrible school system. I mean, you're helping them on the charter schools and stuff like that. But
well, no, it's the biggest school reform in the country.
Exactly.
They are completely turning around the schools there, and Cleveland has been remade. I mean, it is a hustling, bustling, cool place to be. So it's alive, and it can also demonstrate how urban areas can come back. But Hugh, I mean, really, bottom line is Ohio. Come on, right?
You don't have to sell me.
We're not winning Texas, and we're not winning Texas. We ain't winning anything.
Now, your margin in Cuyahoga County 4 years ago, I know you're going to improve on it this November, but it's also the case that if you hold a convention in the middle of a deep blue county, you cut into that margin and you help the general ticket in the fall. And I think people don't get that. I've been getting these questions, why would we go to a deep blue city? And the answer is we want to make it light blue.
Well, and beyond that, Hugh, I mean, the fact of the matter is it's Ohio. And it's not just, and look, Cleveland it's blue collar in a lot of ways. You've seen that. I mean, it has great pockets of the ethnics. You know, those are the people that Reagan was able to attract. So, and look, we have significantly improved relations now in our state with the minority community. We work with them closely. And so I would just say that if you want to move the needle, if you want to go to a place that everybody's looking at 2:00 in the morning on election night, you go to Ohio.
Yep. Right.
And it demonstrates all the fantastic things that we can do when we follow conservative principles. I mean, I don't know why it would be hard really to make this choice. Now, I know I'm from Ohio, so, you know, even though I'm unbiased, I could think people might think I am. But all kidding aside, it just makes total sense to go to Ohio.
And it would just be, I don't think Cleveland's ever hosted the GOP convention. I could be wrong about that, but my history book is it has not. I think we've been in Cincinnati before, and it would be a tremendous boost. A last question.
I mean, there would be so much excitement and enthusiasm. It would display everything that is good about the Republicans and how they've turned things around. And Cleveland will go crazy to welcome people, and all these things that you run into at a convention, those problems, will be on all of them.
They got a beautiful convention center as well, and the progressive field. It would be wonderful to nominate a Republican presidential candidate who's going to win at Progressive Field. I love the irony of that. And we might even end up nominating the state's own governor, right? That's possible.
I'm having trouble hearing you. You're breaking up.
John Kasich, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, Governor.
Good to talk to you.
Be well.